Hi guys. So I don't know what's going on anymore. And instead of trying to figure it out, I figured I would just share with you guys my reactions. I've just been very disconnected with Warhammer just because I've been busy and I got things going on. And I just sat down and I was like deciding to look at some of the new Skaven stuff because hell, I like Skaven. I play Skaven. I have for 5+ years, 6, 7 years. And I'm just so uninterested in the things that are coming out, as cool as they are, as awesome as they're going to be on the battlefield. I just don't know what's happening anymore. And I find myself traveling over to TSC's channel, and he's got like 5 or 6 videos up about ninth edition and stuff. And I listen to like the first 5 minutes of each video, and I'm just like disgusted and upset and disappointed. And I mean, also, side note, going back, I've also been kind of playing more time and doing that stuff, so that's kind of why I'm disconnected from fantasy. But what is going on? I'm very, and I've said this in a previous video, I'm very upset with myself that I have become so disinterested in what's going on. And it stinks that now it's finally Skaven's turn, and I don't care. And I'm sad about that. I really am. I have Crossroads coming up. It's the only GUT right now that I'm signed up for because I'm just busy and not on the grind right now. I might go to Unplugged because Anthony says he might go to that instead of Brawlers, and I don't like going to these things by myself because I hate driving out by myself. But I'm just sad that I don't care, and I don't know what to say about it. Nagash, I didn't care too much about. As cool as I thought combining the armies was, and getting Tomb Kings going again, but I just don't know the direction of where everything's going right now. That it's disappointing. I don't know, and I just hope things in ninth edition turn around. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck in eighth edition, despite some of the cooler models and cooler things that come out. And I've seen those comments fall from a bunch of people saying that they'll stay stuck in eighth edition, which what, hell, it might be what I might end up doing. If it was up to me, I'd be stuck in seventh edition, but eighth edition got some cool hardcover books, and I think they're pretty decent. But it just stinks that for so many of us, it's going to get to the point where we actually disconnect from the new stuff that comes out, or at least some of us. I don't even know how many of us it will be. Um, from what I've seen, and I'm only connected to the YouTube community and the Google Plus that goes along with YouTube. I don't go on forums that much. I'm not on Warseer or Dakadako or anything really. But from what I've seen, it's very split down the middle where, there's a handful of people that buy the models, paint them up, do a great job, play the games, play the scenarios. And then there's the other half that it just couldn't give two shits. And, we have these books coming out, these end times books, and I've said this 5 times already, but I'm just disappointed that I don't care because this used to be a game I loved playing, and now that it's Skaven's turn, I don't seem to give a shit. So I just wanted to share my pessimistic and discouraging feelings, but it is what it is. So hopefully things turn around. Otherwise, I'll be stuck playing 8th edition for in on out, which is fine. I'll continue to post videos. If people want 8th edition, I'll give it to them. But if it becomes a thing that no one wants, I don't see myself putting too much up here except the models and stuff I'm working on and possibly more time in X-wing. But I have loved giving to this community. I've loved making videos. I've loved collaborating with other YouTubers and meeting up with people. And I'll continue to go do GTs if I can accommodate my army and make it what I like doing. If the game changes entirely, then I can't see myself going to them and enjoying them besides just the social aspect. But things need to get better or stay the same for me to get to maintain here, and hopefully ninth edition keeps everything where it is or gets better. Because if it gets worse, I'm stuck with eighth edition, and I've got hell. I'm lucky. I've got 5 friends that are on board. They say, you know what, Nick, we're with you. We'll stay with eighth edition. We'll play with the armies we have. We will stop throwing money at Games Workshop, which we've all been fine with doing as much as we have, love hate relationships with them. It might be to the point where, we stop shelling money over to them and we just play with what we got. Maybe collect a few other missing pieces on eBay, but it just becomes a game of the past. And some games of the past are great. There's plenty of games out there. I'm not going to give you a list or come up with any off the top of my head, but there's games that were left alone and they're great for that. I mean, some of the older editions of role-playing games, for example, Dungeons and Dragons or, D6 Star Wars or things like that, were better in the old days. And that's what makes people happy. So I just hope things turn around for me and my interest in Warhammer maintains. But I'm just so lost with the end time stuff, and I want to keep up, but it's what I've always kind of wanted, though. Just stuff pumping out, pumping out. Like, I've always kind of wanted this, but now that it's here, I'm just kind of like, I don't know a stat line of any of these new things. And I've yet to play a game because I have my own little meta of 5 or 6 people, and none of us have gotten on board with any of the end time stuff. And the game store that's about 40 minutes away from me that it's very hardcore into Warhammer, then that's Brothers Grimm. I've been out there several times, and those guys are great. They have a nice gaming group, but I'm just not interested in, you know, figuring out what's going on and going out of my way to play games with, hordes of chaos and legions of undead and crap. I don't know. Just not there. I'm not. So let me know what you guys think. A lot of you hate when I do stuff like this, when I share my negative feelings, but you can see I'm not trying to be a jerk in this one. I'm not trying to rant. I'm just, expressing how disappointed I am. Less in GW and more in myself. GW's got their agenda. It's their game. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. It's their company. But I'm in 10 plus years, and to see myself so disinterested in the game that is now pumping out books like every 6 weeks and new giant models, and I think that's what it is. It's the giant models. They're cool. They're great. But I don't know. When I would play 6th edition, when you saw a friggin' dragon come down, that was like, shit, this is going to be a game. This is going to be awesome. It's a dragon versus infantry and some cavalry and all that stuff. Now it's just big shit, and it's not Warhammer to me. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to get into a different game, maybe a more historical game. But I just like regiments and regiments of infantry, regiments and regiments of infantry and cavalry and war machines, and maybe a hero or two along just to give the army an edge. But these big giant models that are like 500-600 points, I don't know if that's where I'm interested in going. And I see there's about five or six viewers. To my surprise, I didn't think people still watch my stuff as regularly. And thank you for tuning in. But I don't know. I want to see more strategy. And to me, strategy was always coming up with the list and the army that worked well together. Now it's if your options are units that are 500-600 points, 700 points, Nagash 1,000 points, and these things are going to eventually become legal or whatever it is in ninth edition. There really isn't any strategy when one of the models in your list is half of the army. I used to sit for hours at a time just making up army lists and coming up with new things. I would sit in Army Builder like it was a game. I've had some people go friggin' play WoW. They go play Warcraft for 3 hours. I would sit on Army Builder and just come up with point breakdowns and see how many guys I can get for X amount of points. And, and I liked that nitty gritty infantry, cavalry, get guys on the field and go fight. And now it's just, it's more games of giant monsters, but also games of loopholes, redirecting and stuff. And, it's, more of I don't know. Hard to explain, but it is what it is. And at this point, this video went on way longer than I thought it was going to because I just wanted to throw it out there and say, hey, I'm sad. I'm very sad. I miss Warhammer, but not the Warhammer that is going on right now. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're on board with what I'm saying or not. Be kind. Be kind to me. I'm in a very sad state right now. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. And if you're interested, I've got Mordheim stuff coming out. So I've already got a game in. I have some video editing to do. I'm busy with work, unfortunately. I'm working a lot more hours than I usually do, just with a new position I have. So that is taking up most of my time. And now that I'm at a different location than I used to be at, I used to work with my wife, so we'd spend all our time at work and at home together. So now that we don't see each other, we're actually setting up time to spend together. So that takes away from elsewhere. But Mordheim, it's up, it's coming. Hopefully people pick up this game just with the fact that, you know, the video game is in beta or it's out. I don't even know where the status is. That's how disconnected I am. It's fun. I like Mordheim. So hopefully that video game generates some hype and generates some interest in the tabletop game, obviously. So, but hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. Never thought I'd really get there, but thank you guys for watching and commenting and liking and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.